welcome to episode 10 of Spanish Answers. So today I thought we'd have a little bit of a geek out moment and talk about the future subjunctive. Now for those of you that have studied Spanish a while, you're probably going, future subjunctive? What are you talking about? Yes, it actually exists. I am super excited to talk to you about it today. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start off with how you actually form the future subjunctive, or as they call it in Spanish, el futuro de subjuntivo. That's el futuro de subjuntivo. To begin, you start with the imperfect subjunctive conjugation, which, if you've forgotten how that's formed, basically you take the third person plural form of the preterite, not the imperfect, but the preterite, and then you change it with the following ending. So for yo, it would be re, re. Tú, it would be res, res. El, ella, or usted would be re, same thing as yo. And nosotros is eremos or haremos, so it's got an accent over the first vowel. So accent over an E, accent over an A, and then remos, R-E-M-O-S. Then for vosotros, you have reis, so R-E-I-S, and then for ellos, ellas, and ustedes, it's ren, R-E-N. So let's take comer for example. Now the plural for comer, so like they ate, in the preterite form is comieron, C-O-M-I-E-R-O-N, comieron. Now the imperfect subjunctive takes comier and adds it an A, comiera. But for the future subjunctive, we're going to add an R-E, so comiere. So for yo, it would be comiere. For tú, it would be comieres. For él, ella, or usted, it would be comiere. Again, same as yo. And then for nosotros, it's comieremos. Comieremos. So C-O-M-I-E with an accent, R-E-M-O-S. For vosotros, it's comiereis, so C-O-M-I-E-R-E-I-S. And for ellos, ellas, and ustedes, it's comieren, comieren, C-O-M-I-E-R-E-N. Alright, so let's look at a few other verbs. So let's look at poder. The form we would use for poder is pudiera, right? Then we're going to change that to future subjunctive. So for yo, it'd be pudiere. For tú, it'd be pudieres. For él, ella, or usted, it'd be pudiere. For nosotros, it'd be pudieremos. For vosotros, it'd be pudiereis. For ellos, ellas, and ustedes, it'd be pudieren. So what about cambiar? To change, cambiar. I'll give you a second. Think about how would we use that for yo. Cambiaré. And then tú. Cambiaréis. And how would you say él, ella, o usted? Cambiaré. And for nosotros? Cambiaremos. Cambiaremos. For vosotros? Cambiaréis. For ellos, ellas, and ustedes? Cambiaren. One thing to note is that for nosotros, it's cambiaremos. So that's with an A with an accent, not an E, because the verb is with an AR ending. So cambiar, for future subjunctive, it's cambiaremos. And last one, the IR verb. So that's going to be conducir, to drive, conducir. For yo, that would be condujere, because remember, we're starting with the imperfect subjunctive form. So condujera, and we're changing that to condujere. And that goes into the tú, condujeres. And the él, ella, and usted, condujere. Nosotros, condujeremos. Vosotros, condujereis. And ellos, ellas, and ustedes, condujeren. So that's C-O-N-D-U-J-E, future subjunctive ending. Now that you know how to conjugate it, you probably want to know what it's actually used for, because it's definitely not something they teach in schools, at least not any of the schools I went to. If you're lucky enough to have learned this in school, then I am totally jealous of you. Anyways, there's not a whole lot that it's used for in modern day. I mean, there's a few phrases that are left over. The website I was looking at called Verbflex, again, all of my research notes will be at the end of this PowerPoint. If you're looking at this on YouTube, it'll be in the show notes. And also, if you're listening to this via podcast, it'll be in the show notes there too. So, but the last time that the future subjunctive was used all the time in the vernacular was in the Golden Age. So from like 1492 to 1659 AD. And when I say Golden Age, I mean the Spanish Golden Age. So there's a few phrases left over from that. An example of that is the "A donde fueres, haz lo que vieres." Wherever you go, do what you see others do. Or, as you probably know that phrase best, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Alright, so that's "A donde fueres, haz lo que vieres." And again, fueres and vieres are both in future subjunctive. Then there's "Venga lo que viniere," which is come what may. Venga lo que viniere. And so I got both of those from Live Lingua. Now, it's also used in a legal text, and I got these from, again, Verbflex, and just this example, because I'm not super familiar with future subjunctive, so I wanted to make sure that I was telling you the correct things before I actually put them in here. But one example they gave was, like in a legal contract, you might see, "Yo devolveré cualquier dinero que me dieren." I will return any money that they may give me in the future. In legal contracts, you can still see the future subjunctive, but that's probably where you're going to see it the most when it comes to modern times. Now, if you're reading historical literature, then you might still see it. So a kind of a combination of the two is the Spanish Constitution, and a quote from that is, "Don Juan Carlos el Primero, Rey de España, a todos los que la presente vieren y entendieren, sabed que las Cortes han aprobado y el pueblo español ratificado la siguiente Constitución." So, according to the official English translation of this on Spain's website, this is basically saying Don Juan Carlos I, King of Spain, announces to all who may have knowledge of this that the Cortes have passed and the Spanish people have ratified the following constitution. So this constitution was ratified by the king on December 29th, 1978, after it had been passed by the Cortes Generales, so general courts, and October 31st, and then it was ratified by the Spanish people December 6th, and then the king sanctioned it on December 27th, 1978. Anyways, long story short, the thing that I wanted you to notice about this is that vivieren y entendieren. So this also has the future subjunctive in it. One thing, like, why would you use it nowadays? It kind of has an extra level of uncertainty that you can't really get from anywhere else. So this came from Del Castellano's site. I actually just found his website, so really cool. Looks like he gets really into the history of language, especially the Spanish language. So I'm excited to learn more from him. So in the Ley Orgánica del Código Penal, basically the penal code for 1995, we have a few of these sentences. For example, it says, "El que mataré al rey, ... será castigado, ... Now, this means whomever kills the king, ... will be punished, ... If you were to change that to the present tense, which is what happens a lot nowadays, and it says, "El que mate al rey, ... será castigado, ... It means he that kills the king, ... will be punished, ... So do you see the difference there? There's whomever kills the king with the future subjunctive, and then there's he that kills the king with the present tense. So with the future subjunctive, you're kind of saying it's not really set in stone that anyone's going to kill the king, but should someone decide that that was a good thing to do, they'll be punished. Whereas in the present tense, it sounds more like he who might kill the king, he's going to be punished. So we don't know that someone's going to kill a king, but it sounds more likely, like it's probably more of a done deal. It's gonna happen, we just don't know who's gonna do it. But present subjunctive, mate. So yeah, it's just with the future subjunctive, there's just an extra layer of uncertainty. Like, we don't know if it's gonna happen. It might. We don't know who will do it. And in present subjunctive, it's got more of a it's probably going to happen, but we don't really know who will do it type of thing. Does that make sense? Again, it's just that slight difference in meaning, but the more tools you have for those differences in meaning in a different language, the more native-like you're going to sound, right? So I think that the future subjunctive is definitely something worthwhile and that it should be used. Definitely not often, because that would be weird. But, maybe you can use it to surprise your friends and see. Or, talk to your Spanish friends and see if they use this in their everyday lives at all. All right, that's really all for today. I did want to just kind of have an episode to geek out over that tense. If you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to discuss, please send them to me at contact@languageanswers.com. That's contact@languageanswers.com. And if you would like to never miss another episode, please subscribe. You can find this podcast or YouTube video on, of course, YouTube or iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. And it is produced by Language Answers Ltd, so you can find their website there at www.languageanswers.com. That's www.languageanswers.com. Language Answers has a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page, and a Twitter account, so you can follow me there. And I'm a Spanish into English translator, a podcaster, and an English document editor. So if you've got documents in Spanish that need translating, or if you have papers in English that you just need someone to review through, go ahead and contact me at languageanswers.com for a free quote. All right, well, thank you so much for listening, for watching, however you're accessing this program. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got to geek out a little bit if you're a language nerd like I am, and just enjoy the fact that future subjunctive kind of still exists, or that it's even just a thing. I know that it brings me delight. So I will see you in 2 weeks for episode number 11. In the meantime, enjoy the lovely spring weather, and I will see you then. Hasta luego!